Have you ever forgotten where you put your keys or missed an appointment you were sure you'd remember? We often laugh these moments off, blaming them on stress, a busy day, or just getting a little older. But what if these small, seemingly harmless memory slips are actually your brain sending you an early warning signal? For many people, memory loss doesn't start with a dramatic event. It begins quietly, creeping into daily life in ways that are easy to ignore at first. You might find yourself struggling to recall a familiar name during a conversation, or rereading the same page of a book because your mind keeps wandering. These instances can feel frustrating, but they rarely seem alarming on their own. However, when they start to happen more frequently, it's worth paying attention. Memory is much more than just a collection of facts. It's tied to our attention, our emotions, and our ability to learn new things. When it starts to fade, it can shake our confidence, affect our relationships, and even impact our overall well-being. The scary part is that significant memory decline often begins long before it becomes severe, with early signs so subtle they blend right into our normal routines. One of the first things you might notice is a change in your ability to concentrate. Do you find your mind drifting during meetings or conversations that used to hold your interest? Do tasks that require mental effort, like planning your week or managing your budget, suddenly feel more exhausting than before? This isn't just about being tired. It can feel like a persistent mental fog, where your thoughts are slower and less sharp. Many people dismiss this feeling, thinking, "I just need more sleep," or "I'm just too stressed out right now." And while sleep and stress are huge factors in our cognitive health, a consistent struggle to focus could mean your brain is having trouble processing and storing new information effectively. This isn't just about remembering things from the past. It's about your brain's ability to function in the present moment. Ignoring these early signs means missing a crucial window to take action and support your brain health for the long term. So, the next time you find yourself struggling to focus or forgetting a small detail, don't just brush it aside. Take a moment to check in with yourself. Is this a one-time thing, or is it part of a pattern? Understanding these early signs is the first step toward protecting your most valuable asset, your mind. Have you ever found yourself forgetting what you had for breakfast, but you can recall a childhood vacation like it was yesterday? This is a sign many people brush off, but it's worth paying attention to. Forgetting recent events while having crystal clear memories of the distant past is a tricky pattern. That strong long-term memory can give you a false sense of security, making you think everything is fine. But the truth is, our ability to create and hold on to new memories is a crucial sign of our brain's health. When new information starts slipping through the cracks easily, it might be an early warning that something is changing in how our brain processes new experiences. It's not just about getting older, it's about a specific shift in memory function that deserves a closer look. Another sign that often flies under the radar is difficulty with language. We all have those tip-of-the-tongue moments, right? But what if they start happening more and more often? Struggling to find the right word, pausing frequently when you talk, or using general terms like "that thing" instead of specific names can be more than just a simple slip. You might find that conversations start to feel like hard work, and getting your thoughts out isn't as smooth as it used to be. This can be really frustrating and might even make you want to avoid social situations because you're worried about seeming confused. Over time, these communication hurdles can really impact your relationships and how you feel about yourself, which is why it's so important to recognize this subtle sign early on. And what about misplacing things? We all do it, but there's a difference between occasionally losing your keys and repeatedly putting them in the refrigerator, or finding your glasses in a sugar bowl with no memory of how they got there. When you're constantly misplacing items in unusual spots and can't retrace your steps to find them, it might be more than just being a bit absent-minded. The key is to look at the frequency and the pattern. If it's happening often and causing you real stress or disrupting your day, it's a clue that shouldn't be laughed off. These small, seemingly harmless habits can collectively point to underlying changes in memory that are much easier to address when they are caught early. Paying attention to these signs is a proactive step toward protecting your long-term brain health. Did you know that changes in your mood and personality can be early signs of memory issues? It's something many of us might overlook. Feeling more irritable, anxious, or down might not just be a bad week. Sometimes these feelings pop up when someone is subconsciously aware of their own cognitive struggles, even if they can't quite put it into words. You might notice a friend or family member becoming more withdrawn. They might start avoiding social events or hobbies they used to love. Or perhaps you see a drop in their motivation for things that once brought them joy. It's easy to mistake these shifts for depression or just a normal part of getting older, but they can be deeply connected to changes happening in the brain. Another subtle sign is trouble with decision-making. This isn't about one bad choice, but a pattern. Maybe they're struggling to manage their finances, making uncharacteristically poor judgments, or finding it hard to plan things out. You might spot mistakes in tasks that used to be second nature, like paying bills, following a simple recipe, or keeping up with work. These little slip-ups can slowly chip away at a person's independence and self-confidence, especially when other memory challenges are present. And let's talk about sleep. Sleep is absolutely vital for locking in our memories. So, If sleep patterns get disrupted, it can be both a cause and a signal of memory problems. Having trouble falling asleep, waking up frequently during the night, or just never feeling rested can seriously mess with your brain's ability to process and store information. Over time, this poor sleep can actually speed up cognitive decline. It creates a tough cycle where memory issues make sleep worse, and bad sleep makes memory issues worse. Recognizing these signs early on is so important. It's not about jumping to conclusions, but about being aware and proactive. If any of this sounds familiar for you or someone you care about, it might be a good idea to chat with a healthcare professional. They can offer guidance and help figure out what's going on. Taking care of our brain health is just as important as our physical health. Ever feel like your brain is just full, like you're constantly forgetting little things? You might think it's just a normal part of getting older or being busy, but there are some sneaky reasons behind that brain fog that you probably haven't considered. Let's dive into what's really going on. First up, let's talk about stress. Not just the I have a big deadline kind of stress, but the chronic, everyday, always on kind. When you're constantly stressed out, your brain goes into survival mode. It releases hormones that are great for escaping danger, but terrible for your memory. Your brain starts prioritizing immediate threats over things like remembering where you put your keys or what you needed from the grocery store. This constant state of alert makes forgetfulness a daily struggle, because this kind of stress is so common in our modern lives. Many of us just brush off our memory issues, thinking they're temporary. We tell ourselves we're just overwhelmed and don't seek the support that could actually help. Next, let's look at something you do every day, eating and drinking. Or maybe, not eating and drinking the right things. Your brain is a powerhouse, and it needs premium fuel. If you're not getting enough essential nutrients like vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats, your brain's performance will suffer. This can lead to that familiar feeling of mental fatigue and forgetfulness. Even mild dehydration can mess with your concentration and short-term memory. Think about it. When was the last time you drank enough water? These nutritional issues don't happen overnight. They build up slowly, making them easy to ignore. But their impact on your cognitive performance is huge. Finally, let's get moving. Or rather, let's talk about what happens when you don't. Physical inactivity is a silent enemy of your memory. Regular exercise is like a super boost for your brain. It increases blood flow, strengthens the connections between your brain cells, and releases chemicals that are essential for learning and memory. When you spend most of your day sitting, you're missing out on all these amazing benefits. Over time, a sedentary lifestyle can lead to slower thinking and a general lack of mental clarity. It's easy to disconnect a lack of exercise from memory changes, but the science is clear. A healthy body truly supports a healthy mind. So, if you've been worried about your memory, take a look at these 3 areas. It might not be something serious, but simple changes to your stress levels, nutrition, and activity could make a world of difference. Have you ever felt like you're becoming more forgetful lately? Maybe you've walked into a room and forgotten why, or struggled to recall a name that was just on the tip of your tongue. You're not alone, but did you know that social isolation could be speeding up memory decline? It's a tricky cycle. Memory problems can make us withdraw from others, but that lack of social interaction actually starves our brain of the stimulation it needs, which can make memory even worse. Think about it. When we chat with friends, share stories, or even just debate what to have for dinner, we're giving our brain a serious workout. We're challenging our communication skills, engaging our emotions, and keeping our minds sharp. For someone who lives alone or has few social contacts, this cycle can go unnoticed, slowly chipping away at their cognitive health. It's a quiet problem that can have loud consequences. And what about our constant companion? Technology. Our phones and devices are amazing tools for reminders, navigation, and storing information. But could our reliance on them be making our own memory muscles a bit lazy? While tech itself doesn't cause memory loss, always depending on it can mean we're not using our brain's natural ability to remember, pay attention, and recall information. It's all about finding a balance, using technology as a tool, not a crutch. Now, it's super important to remember that not all forgetfulness is a sign of something serious. We all have off days. Stress, lack of sleep, or even certain medications can cause temporary memory slips. The real red flag is when these moments become more and more frequent, if memory difficulties start to interfere with your daily life, or if you notice other changes in thinking or mood. It's time to pay attention. The good news is that catching these changes early is the most powerful thing you can do. Early recognition opens the door to interventions that can slow down cognitive decline, significantly improve your quality of life, and sometimes even reverse the problem if it's caused by something treatable. Don't just dismiss persistent memory issues as a normal part of aging. Taking action early gives you the best chance to protect your brain health for the long run. If I feel like you walked into a room and completely forgot why you were there, or maybe you've struggled to remember a name that's right on the tip of your tongue, you're not alone, and it's a common fear that these little slips might mean something more. But what if I told you that we have a surprising amount of control over our memory health? What if we could build a stronger, more resilient brain, starting today? Let's start with the basics. Think of your brain like a high-performance engine. It needs the right fuel and maintenance to run smoothly. That means prioritizing quality sleep. When you sleep, your brain is hard at work, consolidating memories and clearing out waste. Skimping on sleep is like trying to run a marathon on an empty tank. Next up, stress. We all have it, but chronic stress is a memory killer. It floods your brain with hormones that can damage brain cells. The good news, simple relaxation techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or even just spending time in nature can work wonders to manage stress and protect your mind. And of course, we can't talk about brain health without talking about movement. Staying physically active is one of the best things you can do for your memory. Exercise increases blood flow to the brain, delivering essential oxygen and nutrients. It also stimulates the growth of new brain cells. You don't have to become a pro athlete, and a brisk walk every day makes a huge difference. Pair that with a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats, and you're giving your brain the premium fuel it needs to thrive. Now, let's talk about a brain workout. Just like our muscles, our brain needs to be challenged to stay strong. This is where mental stimulation comes in. Dive into a good book, learn a new language, pick up a musical instrument, or tackle a challenging puzzle. These activities build new neural pathways and strengthen existing connections, creating what we call a cognitive reserve. It's like having a backup system for your brain, making it more resilient to age-related changes. Socializing is another powerful brain booster. Engaging in meaningful conversations, joining a club, or volunteering not only fights loneliness but also gives your brain a complex workout, enhancing both cognitive and emotional well-being. Have you ever tried to remember something while your mind was racing with a million other thoughts? It's nearly impossible. That's why mindfulness and attention are key to a better memory. When you're truly present and paying attention, your brain can encode information much more effectively. Think of it like taking a clear, high-resolution photo instead of a blurry, out-of-focus one. Practices like focused listening, really tuning in when someone is speaking, or simply taking a few minutes to notice the sights and sounds around you can sharpen your focus and, as a result, your memory. So, what happens if you start noticing that memory lapses are becoming more frequent or concerning? The most important thing is not to panic and not to ignore it. Seeking medical advice is a crucial and empowering step. A healthcare professional can help you figure out what's going on. Sometimes, memory issues can be caused by reversible factors like a vitamin B12 deficiency, thyroid problems, or even side effects from medication. Getting an early evaluation can rule these things out, provide reassurance, or get you on the right path to treatment and support. It takes the anxiety out of the unknown and puts you back in the driver's seat of your health. Memory isn't just a personal journey, it's something that touches our families and communities. Often it's our loved ones who first notice subtle changes we might miss. That's why having open, honest conversations about memory health is so important. It helps break down the stigma and fear that can surround the topic. When we create a supportive environment where people feel safe to share their concerns, we empower them to seek help earlier. Acknowledging memory issues doesn't mean giving up. It means fighting back with knowledge, support, and proactive strategies to maintain independence and quality of life for as long as possible. The beautiful thing is that our brain health is dynamic. It's not set in stone. The small, consistent lifestyle choices we make every single day can have a profound and lasting impact. Ignoring the early signs of memory trouble won't make them go away. It just closes the window of opportunity to intervene and strengthen your brain. Awareness is your superpower. By paying attention to your body and mind, listening to what they're telling you, and responding with care and action, you can protect your most valuable asset. You can preserve your mental clarity, your confidence, and your ability to live a full, vibrant life for years to come. Start today. Your future self will thank you for it. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more tips on living your healthiest life.